Hello you guys, and welcome to this edition of Ask Chauntel. So today I'm going to be answering the question, do I regret waiting to have sex, so saving myself, being a virgin, until I got married, okay? I know some of you that are watching might still be virgins, and you might wonder, if I don't have sex, is there any guys out there or any girls out there that will want to be with me? Does it mean that I'm less than, I'm not good enough? Does it make me uncool? I need to do it to, fit in to what everybody else is doing. Whatever your reason is for feeling like you can't do this, I wanted to make this video for you guys. This video is not to shame anybody that's already had sex. That is not what I'm here for. This is not something that I ever thought that I do, but I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for that person that needs to hear that there's somebody out there like you too. And I want to share my experience with you and let you know, how I feel. Do I regret it? So let's get into it. So my name is Chauntel from askchauntel.com. If you have questions, you can always email me. My email address is askchauntel@gmail.com. That is askchauntel. I am a Christian life, business, and relationship coach, and I'm here to inspire women and mom influencers to build a business and a brand that matters and healthy lives, relationships, and families, because I want to help you to do more of what you love. So I'm going to start off today with talking about, why did I do this? How did I do this? And then I will tell you how you can do it too. So to answer the question of, do I regret saving myself until marriage? Absolutely not. Neither me nor my husband is complaining about our intimate relationship. It is wonderful as it should be, and I don't have any complaints. He doesn't have any complaints. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I did this. In our society today, it's a stigma to be a virgin. But I want you guys to know that according to the Center of Disease Control, by age 17, about 17 years old, Americans have had sex. That doesn't mean that you have to be one of them, but I'm just letting you know. Between 20 and 25, it's about 12.3% of women are still virgins and 14.3% of men are still virgins. I thought that was crazy because I thought for sure, women would be saving themselves longer than men. But what I found, or as I thought about it, I was like, it's probably because we feel the pressure. Like, women feel the pressure that if we don't have sex with our boyfriend, it's going to make us look weird. It's going to make him leave us, like all the reasons for why. But let me tell you, if you find the right guy, a God-fearing man like I did, he will respect your wishes. He will respect the fact that you want to save yourself. And I have a free guide if you guys want to check that out on how to attract a good man into your life. You could download that in the description box below. And I think that the reasons that I was able to attract those men is because I knew who I am. So first, let me tell you why I did this. I did this for me, and I did this for God. Since I was a little girl, I learned that my body is a temple of God. I have a wonderful upbringing, a very supportive family, and I am blessed. I am not bragging. I just want you guys to know that I'm proud of that, and I feel blessed to have that. And I want those of you out there that also have that to know that it's okay and it's good that you have a support system. If you don't have a support system, let us be your support system. Let me tell you that there are reasons for why you want to keep yourself and that you can do it. And even if you have to be the one to remember why and you don't have somebody else to tell you, let me just encourage you that you have the strength to do it. So I was born into a royal priesthood, okay? My entire family is ministers. My grandfather is a pastor, and of course my grandmother is a first lady. They're very strong in their ministry. My parents are both in ministry. My mom works with young adults, and she's always worked, with youth or children in the church. And my dad is also a minister. My grandmother is the mother of the church. My dad's mom. And just there's been so many influences in my life. My aunts, my uncles, they are minister wives and they are ministers. I myself became a minister wife when I got married to my husband. He wasn't originally a minister. He became a minister. My dad became a minister actually as I got older. But the thing is that we all learn that God is the center of our lives. And when God is the center of your life, you make different choices and you make different value decisions. So from a little girl, I learned to let my light shine. And that meant that I was set apart. I wasn't like everybody else. And I accepted that. And sometimes it was hard because, of course, you want to fit in and you want to be a part of what everybody else is doing. But then I learned that there's something more valuable than that. And that thing is being in the will of God, because if you do, then your life will be so much better. What it's appeared to be that, all these people were so happy doing the things that they were doing. As I got older, I learned that that's not really true. They were looking for the one thing that I had, which was that spiritual connection with God. And my relationship with God is really why I did not have sex before I got married. Because let me tell you, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is strong. And I'm Pentecostal, raised in Church of God in Christ, got the Holy Ghost when I was 13 years old. And then, I met my husband at like a youth retreat. And to kind of shed light on let's talk about how did I do it? So why? Why is just I had a really strong spiritual upbringing and foundation and support system. To talk about the how I did that, well, I built my own relationship with God, which means that I was prayerful and all those things. But in the heat of the moment, because let me tell you, the heat of the moment happened. Me and my boyfriend at the time, because my husband, I've had more than one boyfriend, but he was the main one that I've had, and we were just serious from jump. We met when we were 17, speaking of 17, and we already had an understanding. Like, he knew that these were my values and I wasn't going to do it, and he was respectful of that. And I think that is because he had the same understanding, he had the same kind of relationship with God, knowing that, our bodies are the temple of God and that this is what we were supposed to do. That doesn't mean that when we were in the moment, kissing and making out and having steamy sessions, oh yes, that it wasn't hard. But we both knew what the boundaries were. And when those boundaries were starting to be crossed, we kind of stepped back and was like, let's not do this. And I kind of got that encouragement from my mom. She never really talked a lot about it because it was kind of awkward, but what she did tell me was like, don't put yourself in dark places. And what she meant was, don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna end up doing something that you're gonna later regret because you are trying to keep yourself, you're trying to do the right thing. So that didn't mean that that my parents had a thumb on my neck and they were like holding me down. They were, had a very strict upbringing, but they let me breathe, where I didn't feel like I had to break loose. And so I think there's something to giving, your child some space and trusting them to make the right decision. So my parents did that for us. And I was able to do it. If you've already had sex before you got married, it happens. But that doesn't mean that you can't take a step forward and stop doing it. It's better to marry. There's a verse about this. It's very better to marry than to burn. And I don't know that you really want to get married to just anybody. So make sure that when you make those decisions, that is the right person that you want to be with forever, because that's a big commitment and it needs to be right. And once you do it, it's really hard to go back. So I recommend that you don't get into it until, it's time, because it's beautiful. It's wonderful. It feels, great. It's a gift that God gave us to share with our husband so that we could become one. But once you do it, it's really hard to stop. And so that's why, you're encouraged to not even try. And also, it's just something special. It's something that's special that you get to share with your husband and with your wife, that you shouldn't be just out there sharing with anybody. And another thing that really encouraged me is I didn't want guys to be able to walk around saying that they had me and ooh and he, because I know that guys talk and they're like, oh yeah, I had her and it was like this and it was like that. I wanted to have and keep a level of respect. And the other part on this how thing, I didn't surround myself with people that were doing these things, or that guys that expected for me to do these things with them. So if a guy was only commenting on my body, I knew that that's all he wanted from me. And I walked away from that situation. I'm like, okay, cool. That's what you're about, chill. We can talk, all that. Another thing, I really did not want to have any of these diseases. Like, there's so many diseases associated with having sex. I didn't want to involve myself with that. So it was like protection for my body, protection for my mind and my emotions. Like, sex is emotional. And so when you put yourself in that situation, like, you're opening up a can of worms to be connected to this person emotionally. And I didn't need that. I need to be physically or emotionally connected to somebody who wasn't my husband, who at any moment could break my heart. Like, there's just no reason for that. So I just stayed strong with God. And when I dated somebody who did not align with my religious beliefs and values, I was like, I'm not even going to continue this. And so, unless we're just being friends, just hanging out, whatever, that was cool. But I was not going to give myself to anyone but my husband. And I decided that as a young girl. And I think that you can do the same thing. So let's get into how you can do it too. So if you want to save yourself from marriage, this is what you do. You only date, seriously date. I mean, if you just want to go out, have a free meal, hang out, have some fun, cool. But if you want to seriously date somebody, make sure that they have the same beliefs and values as you do, because then they will not pressure you to do anything that you are not okay with, or that you don't agree with, that is not aligned with who you are. Then second, surround yourself with the type of people that also are like you. So I didn't get a lot of pressure from people at school or anything like that, because I surrounded myself with people that were like-minded. There's a Bible verse that talks about being equally yoked. And so I surrounded myself around people who had the same beliefs and thoughts as me, and therefore they didn't make me feel uncomfortable. They didn't try to make me do anything that I didn't want to do. They didn't make me feel bad for being who I am, because they were just like me. And so if you're surrounding yourself with people that are not in the same mindset as you, are not trying to achieve the same things as you in life, don't value the same things as you, then you need to find yourself some more friends. And even if that means separating from everyone until you get something better, that is what you need to do, because otherwise they will bring your spirit down, they will bring you down, and you won't be able to be the person who you are, because you're feeling the pressure to be like them even though you're not them. So I've had to let some people go along the way as well, and it hurts and it's hard and it's easier said than done, but it's something that you have to do for yourself, and you have to be strong-willed, and I believe that you can do it. The third thing I recommend is build a strong relationship with God if you haven't, and keep your relationship strong. And the fourth thing is have those expectations mapped out, ruled out, know exactly, how far you're willing to go. You have to set your own boundaries, dealing with your own convictions on how far is too far for you and what you're willing to do and not do. And you don't just lead with that, like on the first date, like, hey, I don't do this, that, and the other. Like, first, let's just see if we even vibe. Let's see if we have any chemistry. Then we can start getting into the more serious stuff, right? But you just have to let your boundaries and expectations be known from the beginning, and then you won't feel that pressure. And then lastly, when you're in the moment, okay, know that you have the power to walk away, and you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You don't have to give in to pressure, and just get out of the situation. Walk out of the room, go watch a TV show instead. Don't lock yourself up in a room where you know that something's gonna go down. I'm just saying. So, like I said, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is strong. And that's really what kept me. So I hope that helps you guys. If you have questions, as always, please feel free to email me. My email address is askchauntel@gmail.com. That is askchauntel. If you guys like to see more videos like this, because this is my first one doing something like this, and it was a little scary, but I'm so glad that I did it. I did it for you guys, and I want to reiterate again that if you are doing this and you want to change, you can, because God is able, He is willing, He can do anything above what we could ask or think. But if you are doing it and you want to stop, you can. Don't feel like this video was an attack on you. It wasn't. It's all in love. And I just wanted to be, the one to tell you that you can do it too. And there are great reasons for why you should. I'm producing a blog post associated with this, with some of the verses that I mentioned here. So you'll find that in the description box. And you'll also find my free guide on how to make a good man want you. Let's take our tea break. So today, I want you to comment below on maybe your experience with saving yourself or not saving yourself, whatever you're comfortable with sharing. We'd like to hear it. And if you don't want to share your experience, you can comment on mine, or you can give some advice to that person about how they should save themselves, okay? All right, thank you guys for listening. Let's get into the end closing statements. So you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. On the blog, there's a few things for you. I got some free guides for you. I also have a poll. I want you to go vote on, are you married or are you single? And don't forget to leave comments in the comment section below. And I'd like it if you have questions, you can always email me at askchauntel@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Hugs and kisses. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe.